Kathy. Welcome to the Colorful Homeschooler Podcast, where we parlay on productivity, personality, passions, education, and theory. I'm a lover of Jesus, a wife of 20 years, and a homeschool mama of 4 special needs boys who keep me constantly active. I'm so glad you're here to join me. Pull up a chair. There's space for you at this table. Welcome back, everyone. Hopefully this series is helpful. So we've already covered yearly scheduling options for homeschoolers and weekly scheduling options. So today I'm going to go into what I'm doing to prepare for my next homeschool year. Kind of walk you through my process, how I'm selecting curriculum, what I do, what questions I ask myself to ensure that this hopefully will be a positive experience. Also, if you would, come join me over on Instagram, follow Colorful Homeschooler. I've been doing some reels about homeschooling special needs children. I'm in the midst of a clean skincare series. And of course, I still circle back on my mushroom teas, coffees, and powders series just to kind of do some good reviews, some healthy reviews for some mushroom products that can help your health. So hopefully that is helpful and encouraging as well. Plus, as always, I try to be very real and truthful with you about everything and get real practical. So come on over and follow me on Instagram as well. Thank you. So now let's get into the meat of this episode. In order to start planning my next homeschool year, the number one thing, the first thing that I do, usually after I look inside and reflect on last year's homeschooling year, is to pray. I pray about what God wants to see this upcoming year. I pray that it will be His year and not mine. I pray that His will for my homeschool will be enacted. I don't want it to be my homeschool, ladies and gentlemen. I want it to be the Lord's, so that I can rest assured that He is with me, that He is carrying me, and I pray that He will make me aware of His presence. I don't pray for His presence because He's always with us, right? But I do pray that He will make me aware of His presence because my life is busy, like all of ours, and sometimes I can lose the ability to hear the still small voice. So, first thing, pray. Ask the Lord to guide you as you plan for next year's homeschool. Honestly, if it takes me a couple of sittings, which it usually does, to plan for the homeschool year, I pray each time. Not just at the beginning, but each time. And sometimes while I'm doing it, if I hit a real snag, I will pray, Lord, I can't make heads or tails of this. Please give me your wisdom. So anyway, I leave you with that nugget, and that is really important to me. I do believe that the Lord helps guide me as I plan for my children and myself in the next homeschool year. After prayer, I suggest that you go back to our reflection on the last homeschool year. I will link it in the show notes. It was episode 27 or 28, and I just gave you journal prompts to reflect on last year. And I dive deep into those as I plan for next year. While we were doing the journal prompts in 27 or 28, whatever that episode was, I made sure to push into the fact that you are not to react to your reflection at that point in time. You're not searching for solutions. You're not seeking to fix the issue before you even write it down. You are merely reflecting. You are sitting in reflection only. At this time, after prayer, is when we dive deep into those answers that we found during the reflection, and we move forward into trying to find those solutions. Now, some things, yes, you won't find solutions, and that's okay. We hit those in our lives as parents, in our fitness lives, in our marriages, and we just have to have faith that the Lord is taking care of them. So leave those ones to the side. However, the ones that we can fix, let's do it. This is the time now that we look into it and we try to fix as much as we can so that next year will hopefully be closer to that idea of what we have for homeschooling. So pray, and then take a deep dive into your answers to your reflection questions so that you can hopefully start to solve some of those things. You want to really look at what worked last year and what didn't. So what worked, we're going to try to save that as we're planning for next year. What didn't work, well, how can we fix that? What can we do? Can we change a position of the subject in the day? Can we separate a brother and sister who are bickering constantly during one specific subject? Can we do something with them? Can we have them draw out what they're learning or something distracting so they're not bickering with one another? Or can you sit them on opposite sides of you so they're not going to really speak unless they're doing so across you? There are all different issues that could have come out as you were reflecting on that. So now's the time that you can kind of mull over, what can I do about these things that didn't work? And continue to support and encourage yourself for those things that did work. Okay, so the main question on so many minds every time we're looking at the next homeschool year is curriculum. And in that episode on reflection, I took you deep into questioning your curriculum choices. So this specific episode right now is only going to deal with the forward progression. But it's important that you go back and answer those reflection questions because it's going to solidify what you want for next year. Another question that we handled in that episode was, what subjects did you cover? And are there some that you want to include, but they fell to the wayside, they didn't work, whatever the case may be? You want to be mindful and cognizant of those as we're planning as well. So let's get into the practical. Come out of the mindfulness, come out of the reflection, and let's get into the practical. So pull out any curriculum that you already have. Separate by subject. Now, these are all possibilities for next year, of course. We're going to ask a lot of questions about each of them, but separate them into subjects. If you have any curriculum already, separate them into subjects, and that's where we're going to start. Is it a possibility to use now or in the future? Right? Is it too old for your children now, but you like it? Okay, we're going to save those. Whatever your storage situation may be, save what you can that you think you may use in the future. Even if it's a far off possibility, I would suggest saving it if you have the space because you never know what's going to come up. So we've done that now. However, what curriculum have your children aged out of that you own? Let's sell that. Let's give it away. Let's do the right thing with that so that you're able to make space for the things that are still to come and get rid of the excess. So I would suggest if it's aged out, give it away or sell it. Now, what are your actual choices for teaching that subject? Make piles if possible. This may be only one curriculum. You might be like, oh my goodness, I've wanted to try this history curriculum forever. We got too far into last year to do it. So this year I'm definitely trying this history curriculum. So perfect, easy peasy. Let's do that. But if you have a couple options, let's make some piles. Now, have you done any of the choices before? Okay, write down, jot down, really think about what did you like about it, pros and cons. What did you like about it? What didn't you like about it? So have you done it before? Was it given to you for free? And what did that person say about it? Or was it recommended to you by a friend, by an Instagram, by a vlog or a blog that you really respect and trust? Where was it recommended to you from? And why do you own it? Why is it even there? So after you've asked yourself these questions, now we're going to get ready to deep dive. Hopefully you've narrowed it down to, say, less than 5 choices at this point per subject. Now I suggest setting aside some time, read the introduction to each of those. So if you're trying to decide a writing curriculum for next year, or grammar, or a literature curriculum, whatever you may be trying to decide, I want you to read the introduction to each of them in one sitting so that you can really parse apart what are the differences, what are the commonalities, what do you like, what do you not like. So read the introduction, go to the website. What do they say about it on the website? What is the progression? What's the scope and sequence? What do they say is their teaching method? Check Kathy Duffy's recommendations and reviews. Check reviews from other people that you trust. Now, it's important to compare it with your philosophy. If you're a Charlotte Mason homeschooler and somebody gave you an Abeka curriculum, that's probably not going to fit 99 times out of 100. So check it with your philosophy. Is it true to the way you like to teach? Or if it's something you have to use because of financial constraints or whatever the case may be, is it something that you can mold to your teaching philosophy? I mean, we are all creative artists as homeschoolers, so is it something that you can mold to the philosophy that you teach in? I encourage you, ladies, if it's not either of these things, if it does not fit your philosophy and you cannot mold it, or the work of molding it would be too much work, let it go. Let it go. If something is free, but it causes a tremendous amount of stress in your life, this free is not truly free. So just let it go. Release yourself. We all try to be frugal. So many of us, I've seen it before. I've done it myself. Don't add that strain and stress to something that is really, it's a stressful endeavor to be a homeschool parent. Don't add excess to yourself. So I give you permission from me. Let it go. Okay, after we've compared it with our philosophy, now I try to compare it to the way I schedule. So am I a block scheduler, a loop scheduler? And I went over all of this in my yearly and weekly scheduling options, the last 2 episodes, and I'll link those in the show notes. Another thing to ask is, do you teach this subject with a group, like all of your children together, or do you teach this subject individually? Does it fit with that? So if you're using a curriculum that's built for independent use, but you know you want to teach that subject to all your children, really look into that. Is it even going to work? Is that going to work for you? Or is it going to be, again, added stress? You might want to forego it if it's not made to be taught in that way. But if you think you can mold it, then do it. You know, again, we're all creative artists. Okay, so optional at this point, if you're still at 4 or 5 of these choices, you haven't been able to narrow it down yet, you can at this point start watching some YouTube reviews or listening to some podcasts where they review it. This might be helpful at this point to narrow it down. I try not to start looking at reviews until I have only 2 choices, maybe 3, but at this point in my homeschool career, after 10 years, I like to only have 2 before I start checking into other people's reviews. I also try to make sure that those reviews are coming from people who have family structures similar to mine, teaching philosophies similar to mine, and that I know them in some way, right? Maybe not personally, but at least I've listened to that podcast before and she makes me laugh and I agree with her on a lot of things. Or perhaps I heard them speak at a homeschool conference and I'm very drawn to what they have to say, things like that. I like to make sure I have some basis for trusting what this person has to say in the review. So once I narrowed it down to these 2 or 3, I dive deep into the reviews. I check out what is the pull on my daily lessons. So does it need a lot of me? Is it a lot of teacher hands-on, or is it very independent? And what do I need that time slot to look like? Is it group or individual? Is it open and go, or does it require me to build out the curriculum? These are all very important questions depending upon what I need that time slot to look like. Now I might read a portion, see if I even like it. You can do this earlier, but this is usually the point in time where I'm doing that because I've already narrowed down liking a lot of these other things within the curriculum. So read a portion of it. Do you like it? Is it sparking your interest? Because if it doesn't spark yours, it might not spark your child's either. If it's not going to be easy for you to teach, then it probably won't be easy for them to learn. So check on that reading, really see how that works for you. Now, what is your comfort level with the curriculum's teaching style? Say you've been wanting to try Charlotte Mason, but you're looking at cursive writing through the modern era as your first intro into it, that specific curriculum needs a lot of understanding of the Charlotte Mason method. So that might not be a great first one to use. You might want to get more familiar with the Charlotte Mason method with something that really holds your hand, like a Queen Homeschool or a Simply Charlotte Mason, where it's very open and go and gives you a comfort with the teaching style. That's up to you. That's another question to ask yourself. And finally, is it enough for whatever grade level you're teaching? I'm planning another high school student entering high school this year. So I'm graduating my first son, but my third son is an extremely different learner than the first two. And he has very big dreams for a very specific school. I think I've shared before he wants to go to USAFA, the United States Air Force Academy, which chooses from the top 5 to 10% of academics throughout the country. Eek! So talk about pressure. So I'm having to weigh through each of the curriculums I'm choosing and make sure that they are giving him enough challenge that he will stand out, that he will have that depth of knowledge that he's looking for in an interview with USAFA. Does that make sense? So does the curriculum have enough for you? Or does it have too much? If you've got a little, or someone who's entering high school but doesn't really have an eye for intense academics, but maybe they're more of an artist, maybe there's too much advanced math or abstract math or whatever the case may be. Is it too much? Is it not gentle enough for what you're looking for your child? This is why we homeschool, to tailor the curriculum to each child. So ask yourself that as well. Hopefully, you've been able to pick 2 to 3 subjects from what you already have. Now you would set forth on finding new curriculum. Maybe you didn't have any. If you don't save curriculum from year to year, this is one reason why you would want to start new. If you don't have this particular curriculum or you don't like what you have, this is my process in starting, quote unquote, from scratch. The first question I ask myself is, what is the core tenet I'm looking for? Is it scheduling group teaching, or is it my philosophy? For me, it's my philosophy. So in order to find a new curriculum within my philosophy, I would Google, because I'm Charlotte Mason, so I would write Charlotte Mason Science, right? If I was looking for a new science curriculum. Then I would read down the options and dig into the ones that speak to me. I would only read down the options on the Google search page, so I'm not clicking into every single one. I guess you could, but that's just not the way that I do it. Then the ones that speak to me, that call out to me with their intro, I'm going to go into those. How do they schedule? Is it open and go? Do I have to prepare a lot? And then go through each of the questions that we talked about before, and I'll review them here. So you're going to read the introduction or read the website. Check out if Kathy Duffy has any reviews on it. Then you're going to compare it with the philosophy. Does it help you, handhold you enough, or does it handhold you too much with the philosophy? Now compare it to the way you schedule. Is it an independent curriculum, but you want to teach it to a group, vice versa, or does it fit perfectly? Do you want to watch some YouTube reviews on it? Listen to a podcast review about it? Do you want to read a blogger that you really trust? Go through and do some review searching. Also, what's the daily lesson pull on yourself? Is it a lot of time that it wants you to spend on a particular subject that you only want to solidify a 25-minute block for? That would be an important thing to note. Read a portion that you can. A lot of these curriculums have samples on their website, so read a portion. Do you like it? If not, your kid's probably not going to like it either. And then again, do you need more? Does it have to be more intense, or is it too intense, or is it just right? So go through all those same questions that you've been through for the curriculum that you already have, but instead you're just doing it probably with a little less insider knowledge as you're looking at ones online. Now that you've chosen your core subjects, science, social studies, which is history and geography, English language arts, which includes literature, writing, grammar, and spelling if you're teaching spelling, probably some handwriting as well, and math. So you've chosen those. Make your shopping list now. Do you have the required texts? workbooks if you use them, supplementary curriculum, the living books you're going to use along with it. What do you need? Make a list. Now you're going to source those items. So do you have to buy it? Do you have it already? Also, a lot of books can be found on Internet Archive. Google it. It's a fantastic resource. You can also use Google Books or Gutenberg. They have a ton of open source books for you to use for your curriculum. So then you wouldn't have to purchase them. Some of the out of print books are extremely expensive. So maybe you select one of those that you want or none of them this year, whatever. Just what do you need to get? And then also, can you use a substitute? Say you don't have a specific literary novel or a supplementary item for history. Can you use something you already have so you don't have to purchase or find anything online? Check that as well as you're sourcing. So now you've chosen your core curriculum subjects and you've gone through and created a shopping list for yourself. That's what we're handling this week. Next week, we're going to go into electives, how to choose them, which ones you're going to do, how do you get them sourced properly, what's the best way to look into them, as well as what I have chosen. And we're going to go over the way I schedule my week-long schedule for the entire year. How do I place those blocks of time together? So that's all next week. Tune in, please, and follow the show. Please leave me a review and 5 stars on whatever platform that you listen to me on. It really helps the algorithm to push me out there so that more people can hopefully be helped by me and be encouraged by me. And again, come follow me on Instagram. Ladies, I want you to know that through this summer, I'm trying to bring you valuable content as you plan for an amazing undertaking as homeschool parents. And remember, I believe in you.